Top 5 Tuesday.
Oh, it's so hot. Hello, and welcome to a heat exhaustion inspired edition of Top 5 Tuesday. Weather's getting crazy. We're going to get crazy too. Welcome, my friends, to another edition of Top 5 Tuesday. And yes, today we are talking craziness in the country music world. The craziest concert moments. Things that happened when superstars were on stage that just went a little bit off the rails. Yes, what is going to make this list? It's the top 5 craziest concert moments in country. At number 5, Luke Bryan getting into a physical altercation with a fan at Charlie Daniels' 80th birthday celebrations. It was back in 2016. A group of artists had come together to celebrate Charlie Daniels. He was there playing alongside Travis Tritt, Chris Stapleton, Three Doors Down, Kid Rock was there. Just going to be a great night of music to celebrate Charlie Daniels. But during his performance, Luke Bryan looked down into the crowd, and there in the front row was a gentleman who apparently was making crude and rude gestures towards Luke Bryan. He had had enough. He jumped off the stage, gave a good shove to the fan before security intervened and tossed the fan from the building. But a very interesting one for everybody else in the front row to be watching Luke Bryan and immediately see him jump off the stage to get physical with someone in the front row. It's a crazy moment. That's at number 5. At number 4, it's Alan Jackson and a pair of protests he did at the CMA and ACM Awards in 1994 and 1999. Alan Jackson, no stranger to the country music world, one of the biggest stars in country music, and using that platform to let people know how he felt about the current state of country music. The first one was in 1994 at the ACM Awards. Now, that year, the stars had been told they wanted to dress it up. We didn't want to look so country and hickish. Make sure you dressed up. And so everybody was showing up in tuxedos and gowns, and Alan said, no, I'm not going to do that. He showed up in a Hank Williams cut-off t-shirt. He had the jeans on, and when he got there, they said, okay, you're going to perform your song, but you're going to lip sync it. And Alan thought, you know what, lip syncing is not fair to the fans. I don't want to lip sync it. But they said, you're going to have to. It's an award show. That's what we're going to do. So Alan Jackson and his band found a way to make sure everybody knew exactly what was going on. His drummer, Bruce Rutherford, went out there with no sticks. If you watch the video of this performance, it is absolutely hilarious. Bruce Rutherford, the entire time, is back there mimicking the drum sounds with no sticks in his hands, so everybody knows exactly what's going on. A silent form of protest from Alan Jackson and his band right there. Then again, in 1999 at the CMA Awards, another protest from Alan, as his close and dear personal friend George Jones had a huge hit that year with Choices. He was supposed to perform it at that award show, but they told him to cut it down to about 2 minutes. George said he didn't want to do that, and instead he went home. Alan, very upset that they would make a legend cut down his song at the award show. So Alan, in the midst of his performance of Papa Top, stops his band, turns around, says something. Next thing you know, they start playing Choices as an ode to George Jones. George was watching at home and apparently moved to tears by the actions of his dear friend Alan Jackson. But Alan's protests on 2 of the biggest stages in country music, that's got to be pretty crazy for everybody involved. That's at number 4. At number 3, it's the event that got Johnny Cash banned from the Grand Ole Opry for a while. In 1965, he took the stage, shall we say, not exactly in his right mind, and decided now would be a good time to break all the footlights along the stage. Using the microphone stand and his feet, he knocked out all the footlights along the stage. When he got off stage, he was officially banned from the Grand Ole Opry. That ban was lifted a few years later when Cash cleaned himself up. But the image of Johnny Cash kicking out the footlights is a famous one in country music history, and for those who were in the audience that night at the Grand Ole Opry, had to be one of the craziest things they ever saw. Johnny Cash kicking out the footlights. That's at number 3. At number 2, crazy concert moments, it's when Tim McGraw and Faith Hill took the stage together in 2007 on their Soul to Soul tour. A great tour, was a very popular one. You get to see Tim and Faith at the same time, all their great duets together as well. Just a fantastic concert experience. What could go wrong? Well, an overzealous fan is what could go wrong. While Tim McGraw and Faith Hill were doing a duet, they were on the low level of the stage right next to the fans who were clamored all the way around, and as Tim went down to shake some hands and say hi to people while he's singing, one overzealous woman reached up and groped Tim McGraw. Now, that's crazy enough, but the fact she did it with Faith Hill just a few feet away, that's what triggered the craziness of the whole situation, because Faith Hill stopped the song to scream at this woman, "How dare you do this to anybody's husband in front of them? This is absolutely crazy." That woman was escorted out. Had to be a wild night for everybody else in attendance. But Tim McGraw getting groped and Faith Hill getting mad, That's number 2 in country's craziest concert moments. Number 1 on this list, it has to be Farron Young, an infamous concert that happened in Clarksburg, West Virginia in 1972. At the time, Farron had a huge hit on the country charts with a song called This Little Girl of Mine, and he had a practice at his concerts of finding a little girl in the crowd, bringing her on stage, and singing the song to her. It was a sweet moment at concerts all across the United States, but that night in Clarksburg, things did not go according to plan. He got 6-year-old Nora Jo Catlett up on stage. She didn't exactly want to be on stage. Things were going a little awry anyway. Then Farron claimed she spat on him, and he absolutely lost it. In front of a theater of 5,000 people, in front of this little girl's parents, he bent her over his knee and gave her a spanking in front of everybody. This would be an insane scandal today. In 1972, it meant that he had to pay the Justice of the Peace $24 for a fine and $11 for court costs. And he did actually end up settling out of court with Nora Jo's parents for about $3,500. But what a crazy experience. Imagine being in the seats at a concert. You're there to see Farron Young, and you see him spank a little girl on stage in front of everybody. Insane stuff. Farron Young, number 1 on our list of the craziest concert moments in country music history. Thanks for joining us for another edition of Top 5. We'll catch you back here next week.